Okay, this is video 2 on my coil doghouse. Just kind of go through and do a little update. See that corner's a little lower down there. It's the only thing that's off. It really kind of aggravates me, but there's nothing I can do about it. The platform isn't perfect, so you try and plan for everything, and then something like this happens, and what do you do? So we're off by at least half an inch, actually about 5/8. That's 5/8. So this is another problem I got. The wind is blowing, and if you see these maples over here, these little seeds blow. I can't believe how far they go. So I'm going to have to skirt this up to here, right? I'm going to use metal. This is going to be screen, and then that top, I've got some mesh that I'm going to put up there to keep these little whirly birds out of here, because these little bastards get in everything and they make a mess. So actually, I'm quite impressed just getting this off the ground. This back side is treated plywood. I'll seal this up here, and then I'm going to coat this line with 3M foil tape for extreme temperatures, and then I'll cover it with a sealant, right? So this is going to get wrapped and sealed, so that'll be a waterproof boot down here. I'm going to use a roof jack boot on that side. That'll be sealed, and probably Armaflex. I'm going to have to be creative and figure out how I'm going to seal this with Armaflex. So this whole line will be sealed. I want to keep, if I can, I want to keep the little rats and mice out of here. I'm thinking I might put a pond under here to catch the condensation. I've got a little plastic pond. I'm thinking I'm going to dig this out probably and put a little pond, catch the condensation, because I got deer that come up here and give them some place to drink, and I got a little possum running around and give him a place to get something to drink, and stray cats. So my cap wound up being valley flashing. They didn't have wide enough cat flashing at the store, so I wound up using valley flashing. It kind of looks kind of Asiatic. It's kind of cool looking. I don't mind. And underneath here, because I don't want the cover on the coil to be vibrating against the plywood, there's actually a seal up in there. Let's see if you can get up in there and I can show it to you. I don't know if you can see it or not. See it? So that's a seal I got at the store. I think it's for windows and doors. It's kind of like Armaflex, but not the same. Little more of a thicker compound. But so I've got this cover here, and that's to isolate the lower unit, because I'm going to have a screen on the bottom, a screen on each side and on the face to keep the grass and crap off my coil. This is going to have steel on it on 4 sides, and then above that it's going to be this mesh stuff. So I picked up this plastic stuff. I didn't want to use galvanized. It's going to rust in a couple of years and fall apart mesh, so I use this wire mesh here or a replacement for wire mesh. This is all plastic, UV stabilized. So also, I'm going to treat all the exposed ends, because if you look here, that's just going to rot if I don't treat those ends. So all these ends, when you have treated wood, they have to be sealed. So that'll get sealed. Any exposed piece of wood, I'm going to seal it with this Bare quick dry. It dries in an hour, and it can go on wet wood. So this wood's a little damp, and I'll put some down in here because of the screw holes and what have you. But this will be all sealed up. I'm not looking for a 100% airtight box. I'm just trying to keep the crap off my coil. I don't want to clean my coil. I just want to be done with this. So backside, I used metal flashing. It's a little different. The flashing didn't want to cooperate as well as I would like, but it's okay. I'm not building the Sistine Chapel. So that's the way the backside's going to be. Those top posts are going to get covered with that flashing. I'm using aluminum flashing, and I'll show the detail on that when I'm done. You have to protect your post ends or board ends, and especially post tops, because they'll rot from the top down. So they're going to get flashed, capped, and stuffed underneath that flashing to seal them so they're not getting constantly wet with the rain. The front here, as you can see, I've got the roof extending out a little bit further, kind of like a rain guard. But on the back side, I didn't need it because my predominantly my rain's coming from this is the south side blowing in, east and west south. So hopefully I've got my draft or pitch, excuse me, the pitch on that cap's good enough so that water will run that way. If not, I'll have to address it. But like I said, this doesn't have to be all airtight or watertight perfectly. It just has to keep the coil dry. If I keep the coil dry, I figure it'll be a little more efficient. So, gotta love it when Mother Nature wants to throw a curve at you to make you have to do more work, right? I'm out here smoking my pipe this morning, and this wind came through from hell, and I'm watching these little whirly birds come flying all over the house. I'm like, glad I got gutter guards on, so I ain't gotta worry about that. But anyway, there's our detail on the base here. I've got the aluminum flashing. I'm going to loosen these screws, lift this up. Piece of flashing is going to go over here and under here. So when this drips down, it's not constantly getting this wet. So I got a few more hours to work to do on here. Some minor changes that I've decided to do here. And I'll get that done today. And hopefully if I have enough time, I'll do a video on this final project when I'm done. All right, over and out.